Do I wish I transitioned as a kid? That's the million-dollar question. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my crib. I'm just kidding. No, this is not an apartment tour. I just wanted to show you guys that I'm in a new location because I got the house to myself and pretty good lighting out here, so why not? Do I wish I transitioned as a kid? That's the million-dollar question. But before we hop into it, my name's Kyle, aka Prince Kyle, don't forget it, and I have an Instagram as well as a TikTok where I share my female-to-male transition, as well as give tips to anybody that would like to hear about it. First, I want to apologize. Yes, I'm sick, so my voice sounds kind of crazy, but we're gonna make a video anyway because I can't let y'all down. I'm still waiting to hear back from my doctor to see if I have COVID. I'm not sure yet, but pray for me. Hopefully I don't. Hopefully I'm healthy, and hopefully this is just a little minor virus that's gonna see its way out the door. Today I want to talk about if I wish I transitioned as a kid. I'm gonna go through the pros and I'm gonna go through the cons of not transitioning as a kid, and then I'm gonna tell you overall if I would have preferred to transition as a kid. Because for anyone that doesn't know, I transitioned physically at the age of 20 or 21, I forget, I know I have a bad memory. So I transitioned as a full-grown adult and not as a child. I knew I was transgender at the age of 16. That's when the word was presented in front of me. That's when I put the pieces together and realized that's exactly how I identified and stuff like that. Beforehand, I knew that I was different. I knew I was not just a tomboy. I knew it was something deeper than that. I just didn't know what it was, so I wouldn't have even known to transition until at least the age of 16 or 17. Whereas nowadays, children are understanding the terminology behind everything within LGBTQ as early as 5 and 6 years old, which is great because I do feel that children need to be educated. I don't think they need to be pushed, but I think they need to be educated. The pros to transitioning as a child is, for one, you get an earlier start. You get to stop the puberty that you do not identify with earlier. So that's probably the biggest thing because you can go on hormone blockers. In some cases, at like 16, 17, you can transition physically, you can have top surgery, stuff like that. So you pretty much get a head start compared to people who transition as an adult, because when you transition as an adult, you have already gone through your puberty that you didn't identify with. So unfortunately, there are some things that may not be able to revert the way you want it to. So it'll make for an easier transition if you haven't already gone through one puberty. Now, part of the cons of transitioning as a child is you're gonna have to deal with bullying. Obviously, unfortunately, kids are cruel nowadays. I get so many people in my DMs about being bullied in school, and first I wanna say that it takes a lot of courage and strength to identify as transgender as a child. Because not only are you probably being bullied by adults and parents that may not agree with your situation, but you have to go to school every day and deal with the same type of harassment. And I believe if you can get through that, you can literally conquer the world, because being bullied in school is a horrible, horrible thing. And I wish I could take the pain away from every child that deals with it, but unfortunately I can't. And I would love to say it gets easier as an adult, but people are just as evil as an adult. You just gotta learn to cope with it internally and be able to bite the bullet, I guess. The cons to transitioning as a child is you don't know necessarily what you want in life, so it is a huge decision, and I think that there should be more things that a child has to go through in order to be qualified for transitioning, because there are a lot of people that I see who have detransitioned. I'm not saying that those were the exact reasons why they detransitioned, but I've noticed that there are a lot of cases where some of the people who are detransitioning are people who transitioned as a child rather than as an adult. I guess the best way to put it in perspective is think a child can't even vote, they can't drive, they can't drink, they can't smoke, they can't do a lot of things. So to put such a huge decision in their hands as far as transitioning and changing their body permanently, that is a huge, huge decision. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with transitioning as a child, but the way I guess I would go about it with my future children is they can transition mentally, they can transition with clothing, stuff like that, but anything permanent, I want them to wait until they are older or until they've gone through a lot of therapy and other things so that they can really know and understand what they're about to do. I guess to wrap it all up, between the pros and the cons, where I stand is I probably wouldn't change my transition at all. I like the fact that I transitioned at 21 years old because I was young enough to where I really haven't experienced life yet. I barely experienced adulthood, but I was legally an adult and I did have most of my brain development to know that this is exactly what I wanted in life, and I don't see myself detransitioning ever. I think I was in the right headspace. I transitioned after I went through a very, very bad mental crisis that put me in the hospital for attempted suicide. And I was able to speak with lots of therapists. I was able to talk to my mom about how I was feeling. I was able to research a bunch of things on being transgender. And I was just in a very, very good headspace after that mental crisis and that rock bottom point in my life, that I knew exactly what I needed to do to be at my full potential. And so I think if I were to have transitioned as a child, I don't think I would have regretted it, but I do think that I don't know if I would have been able to handle the negative stigma that surrounds it, because mentally I haven't hit that rock bottom yet as a child. And if I were to have hit that rock bottom while transitioning as a child, I think the outcome could have played out a lot different and it could have been detrimental for myself. But overall, I'm very happy with how my time frame played out. So in simple terms, because that was probably a lot, I don't regret transitioning as an adult, and I don't think I would have transitioned as a child. Now, I'm only speaking for me. I'm not speaking for anyone else. You guys may feel different, and there are some of you who, I know some of you followers are children, and I just think that only you know what you want in life. I do think that as a child, your brain is not fully developed, and it is a huge, huge decision. But if you feel super strongly about that decision, then no one can tell you different. I just think for me, I made the right decision in waiting, and I don't think I would have transitioned as a child. Mentally and expressing myself wise, 100%, I would definitely. But as for medical procedures and taking testosterone or hormone blockers, I think I would have just did exactly what I did. That's all I got for you guys today though. I hope you did enjoy this video. Let me know how you guys feel about it. I did ask this question. I made a poll about it a few weeks ago because I wanted to see where a lot of my followers' headspace was in this kind of conversation. And I'm interested to see how you guys feel about it. So let me know in the comments. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.